Hello, welcome to, you see, I had a glitch already. Hello, and welcome to Northrop on the Short Porch. I'm Chris Northrop for Pinstripe Chronicles. Kick back, grab your favorite beverage. Let's have a chat today. I'm glad to see Jonathan. Hi, it's not morning. Did I say good morning? Oh, no, someone else said good morning. I thought maybe I already screwed that up too. Glad to see anyone who's brave enough to join us at this hour. Thank you very much. I want to take a little bit of a different approach this evening to our conversation about the Yankees. It seems like that we're definitely not going to rehash everything that's being said elsewhere about Judge McMahon, the Yankees' struggles offensively, etc. Hey, Jonathan, very good to see you in the chat. Um, what we are going to talk about, though, and I'm bad at titles, but the title of the show, The Old, the New, and the Ugly. And basically, I thought what we would do is start with Wednesday's game, mostly because I just can't stand thinking about today's game. Not yet, anyway. I don't know about you guys, but it's a little tough. Okay. So Wednesday's game began, that game started out with Judge, Chisholm Jr., and the entire Yankee offense receiving their Silver Slugger Awards. Now, I thought this was particularly cool this year, the Silver Slugger Awards, because not only did Judge and Chisholm Jr. win individually, but the entire Yankee offense won. And looking back on 2025, what you remember, I mean, is the swoons. You remember the times they weren't hitting. You forget that offense was the top hitting offense in the league. So those seemingly endless stretches of 162 games with those pockets where they don't hit seem to stand out, at least in my memory. But let's take a minute and just remember what the Silver Sluggers accomplished in 2025. And I'm moving towards a future points. I'm not going to just rehash the past. Now, Judge tied with Jeter, Cano, Posada, and Winfield for the most Silver Slugger awards by a Yankee player. He hit 331 with 53 home runs, 114 RBIs, and a 1.144 OPS. He won his first batting title, slashing the 331, 457, 688. He won Silver Slugger Awards in 4 of the last 5 years. Now, why am I rehearsing this? I'll let you know in a minute. Jazz. Now, Jazz won a Silver Slugger Award. He's in the company of some pretty good folks. Some pretty good second basemen: LeMahieu, Cano, Soriano, Willie Randolph. He posted his first 30-30 season by recording 31 home runs and 31 stolen bases. He was everything we wanted offensively in 25. The Yankee offense itself, they scored 849 runs, the most in Major League Baseball. They scored 274 home runs, the most in Major League Baseball. They had the highest slugging percentage, 455. They had 2488 total bases, the most in Major League Baseball. And 7 Yankees hit more than 20 home runs. 7 Yankees hit more than 20 home runs. That's amazing. 6 regulars slugged at least 460 with an OPS above 810. Bellinger and Rice were nominated, but not winners. And this just shows the depth of the Yankees hitting, the power team. Now, the reason that I'm bringing up these old numbers, bringing up the past, is as a reminder to all of us that while April matters, especially when it comes to wins, It's short-sighted to do either of two things that teams might do at a time like this. And one of those is panic, and the other is not panic. So let's look at that a little closer. As far as panicking, uh, the Yankees. I mean, Yankee fans. If you read, for example, I'll just read one sample from X today. Um, Brian Rappaport wrote, "I mean, this isn't new. This is from today's game. It's the same bad ass bats, same redundant offense, same shit. You can be a diehard fan and also be a realistic. This team needed some changes. It got none. Just wild to me." So the four Silver Slugger nominations, I wanted just to remind us of the star power and the offensive firepower of this team, because right now it's pretty dim. The lights aren't on. It doesn't seem like, and yet they're developed as a result of these numbers. They're developed around the Yankee offense, an uncomfortable undertone that, despite posting the league's most dangerous offense last year with a 119 WRC plus, the Yankees were eliminated in the ALDS by the Blue Jays, and the contrast between the regular season dominance and October failure underscores a problem that this team can't ignore. And it's a problem that we've carried into this season. And as Jonathan, you point out, today's offense was non existent. The last three games were not just slow, they were practically dead. Um, but fans have been shaking their heads over the tendency of this Yankees offense to shut down almost collectively for certain stretches. One of the reasons for the shutdown is the power numbers um, stalled, and the offense was not varied enough to generate runs in other ways in enough batches to win. So when home runs weren't being hit, they say in 2025, not a lot of runs were being scored by Yankee hitters. The Yankees were relentlessly criticized for their over reliance on the long ball. Now, the Yankees had problems getting runners on base all season. And once on base, without the long ball, they had trouble moving runners over and lacked aggressiveness on the base pads. Fans noticed there was a lack of small ball, as we call it, a lack of bunting, hit and runs, a lack of hustle sometimes that are the downside of this Yankee offense. The Yankees ranked eighth in stolen bases in 2025. So they have the ability to be a top 10 stolen base threat, but I don't think that as fans we think of them that way, or that we think of them as being very aggressive last year on the base pads. Um, Judge specifically addressed, I thought, this aspect, the stolen bases, and the fact that the Yankee offense stalls when there isn't a home run, because he's one of the players that spoke out and said he was going to steal more bases this year. I mean, probably the last thing we want to hear from Judge is that he's going to put himself in harm's way stealing bases. Hey, Lou, thank you for joining us. And you're right, powerless is the word. So Judge is probably one of few players we want to see steal fewer bases. And of course, famously, Jazz has run his mouth. He's going to steal 50 bases this year. 31 last year, 50 this year. I think he's already dialing back, though, on that. So it's hard. The Yankees themselves, I think, realized that the game needed more aggressiveness. The Yankees led MLB in 2025 in runs scored with 849. Just imagine how astronomical that number would be if the Yankee offense was actually efficient in scoring runners that are in scoring position. We had trouble bringing runners in when we weren't obviously hitting the long ball. Now, 2026 is the season of the run it back narrative, or so we've been told by the beat writers and other Yankee fans and other baseball fans in general. While it's true that the team comprises of many players returning from 2025, it is also true that the additions of Cole and Rodon are going to be game changers, and that this team will not be even recognizable as last year's team. And I think already this pitching staff has improved to the point where it is not last year's pitching staff. So shortly, we're going to be seeing Cole, Fried, Schlittler, Rodon, and I assume Warren as the fifth starter. And this is an absolutely ass-kicking rotation. There's not another rotation this good, I don't think, in the AL East and maybe in baseball. Tell me what you think about this. Is when Cole and Fried and Rodon come back, best rotation in baseball? I think. There appears to be a new emphasis this year in this. Now we come to some of the new, and that you guys are already commenting. The pitching is better, not the offense. Oh yeah, absolutely. The pitching is better, not the offense. No. You're right. There is, or at least there appears to be, renewed aggression on the base pads. Now we saw, and of course we all have chuckled over this and been impressed by it at the same time, but Stanton saw his opportunity and took a base. He hasn't stolen a base since 2020. So if the Yankees must have had the most predictable offense in 2025 of any team in baseball. So while fans aren't going to see probably the Yankees playing a lot of small ball in 2026, I mean, are they likely to bunt? Would it kill someone to bunt on this team? Maybe when Volpe comes back, he could be the designated bunter. We are seeing players hitting more for contact. Even Judge, in the absence of what has been a slow start, admittedly, for Judge, he's hit 3 home runs, I think, so far. He's looked pretty. He's been pretty quiet. So during this series, he really needs to get his power stroke going, but he's contributing by taking his walks, which he always does. He's making contact. He's hit singles. He stole a base himself. Now I don't think he's going to steal bases right, left, and center, but Judge can steal a base. He's fast. So last season, the Yankees were tied with the Mariners for the lowest rate of extra bases taken, with 37%. So the Yankees were one of the teams in the league that took the fewest extra bases. And in 2026, I think they've addressed this, as they have been taking the extra base. They've been pushing the envelope. In fact, they've been doing it at a rate of 59% higher, at a 59% rate, which is extraordinary considering where they were last year. Hopefully, this is something that we see them continue to emphasize and to push, is getting the extra base. And now 59% is not probably sustainable as the level that they're going to be able to, take extra bases. I mean, the Tigers led the league in 2025 with 53%, but I think Yankee fans will be happy to see this change in the offense to a more from the long ball being the only way to get runners into being able to score from with their legs, with their speed. In the first few series of the season, they have been more athletic, better positioned to take advantage of mistakes. So if the Yankees' newfound ability to consistently take the extra base sticks, that would be no mirage. It would be another sign that the Bronx Bombers are becoming an even tougher puzzle for opponents to solve. Um, the Bombers lead the league in Fangraphs power rankings, and Ben Rice leads MLB with a 1380 OPS. So, all good things. The power is still good. The home runs will come. The bottom of the order, not so good. This is the ugly. McMahon, Caballero, Wells, Chisholm Jr. The Yankees have been opening the game with the lineups, and instead of batting averages, they have a list of OPS. I don't know if you've noticed that on the Yes Network, but we're now judging by OPS. But if you look down the list at McMahon, his batting average is 087. Seeing a 363 OPS seems like if you're not, you're like, oh, 363, that's not that bad. But 087, you recognize immediately, like, that sucks. What the heck? Ben Rice has carried the Yankee offense in the early going, hitting 370 with 3 home runs heading into the A's series. This homegrown lefty slugger, he's only Robinson Cano has hit 30 home runs from the left side in Yankee Stadium. David Cohn predicted 40 plus homers and a high on base percentage, and that he would be an all-star. And I have no doubt that that we'll all be voting for sure for Ben Rice as an all-star. Rice, alongside Cam Schlittler, has been one of the true developmental wins for the Yankees since Judge. Like Judge, he has a short memory at the plate and turns the page quickly after bad at bats. Start Spreading the News, which is a blog I always take a look at. I highly recommend it. They wrote, let me take a drink here. They wrote that Rice was probably one of the top 15 or so Major League Baseball hitters last season, but his numbers lagged behind a bit. Of course, there was a question to answer. Could he do it again? Maybe Rice just had the best season of his career, but pitchers will adjust back to him. That was one of the arguments that could be made. And while he did put up some impressive numbers in the minor leagues, it's hard to sustain that level of production at the big league level. However, in 2026, Rice's batted ball skills showcase his ability to make adjustments from pitch to pitch, and not just pitch to pitch, but from at bat to at bat. He's a smart hitter. He has elite skills at the plate, and he's very smart at reading the pitches. And he's doing it again. I mean, just take a look at his StatCast page. It's just red. He leads all majors in xWOBA, average exit velocity, and hard hit rate. He's also taking his walks and not swinging at pitches outside of the zone. He's striking out a decent amount, but the contact is so good that he's posting a 0.321 X batting average. This is really impressive stuff, and he's sustaining it over more than a season. The eye test matches the numbers. He looks bigger and more athletic than last year even. He works the counts well. He seems like a smart guy. There's just zero red flags with this kid. Ben Rice is definitely my pick for the player of the player of the game, uh, of any game in this season. He's been outstanding, and I got to find my notes. Hold on one sec. I'm looking for my game notes. Here they are. All right, so let's move on to today's game. I know you guys. The game was pretty slow. It was there's hardly anything to say really about this game. There was Grisham got the arrest, Chisholm got arrest. Both of them needed it. Both of them ended up in the game. It didn't make a difference. Judge, soft contact to groundouts, strikeouts. Weathers, now that was the high point of this game, was the pitching, and of course I guess it doesn't matter who's on the mound. We're going to see outstanding pitching. I don't know whether I should say Weathers was outstanding, but through what 7 innings he was solid, and he didn't give up he gave up nothing. So, as it turns out, although he did work his way in and out of trouble. Bellinger, nothing. Grichuk got the start. He had three Ks. The Yankees were no hit. This is just, it's stunning when you consider what I've just been relaying to you about how this team was the top offensive team. But these are the frustrations we had last year with this team. And I think that the important thing that we learned was that Cashman, the front office, the Yankee organization, they were satisfied with the team that they fielded last year, with a team that was competitive enough to go into the postseason, but not competitive enough to win. And I think that that goes to show that goes back to their lack of versatility and etc. So let me know what you think about today's game. How did you? What was your reaction to Weathers on the mound? Were you convinced that he maybe deserves a spot? I don't know that I was convinced that he deserves a spot. I still think he's probably going to end up in the bullpen. That would be my guess, barring injury. He's not going to beat Warren out, is he? Warren looked solid, very good. So that's my spiel for this evening. That's the old, the new, and the ugly. I really just wanted to bring a little bit of positivity back to the conversation, because as I was on X this afternoon watching the game, Yankee fans are freaking out that this offense is so dead. And I think that if I did nothing this evening, I at least wanted to remind us that the offense is an entity. It's like an animal. It has a life cycle, I guess. And tonight was not its night. Today was not its day. So some days it's firing on all cylinders, and you get home runs popping off the bat of Rice and Judge, surprise home runs popping off from Rosario. But what we need is a little bit more reliance on speed, versatility. The defense has been, for the most part, excellent this year. We haven't seen the sort of mental errors yet, at any rate, except for Jazz. And Jazz, he runs his mouth, and he did make a mental error that cost a run. He held the ball nonchalantly, threw it to first base. And speaking of Ben Rice, again on defense, he's coming along as a defender very nicely. He sure is saving the bacon of the infielders who are throwing the ball and one hopping it across to him or missing the bag. So I am singing the praises of Ben Rice today. I guess I should have called this the Ben Rice Show. I don't know. But let's see. The Yankees, Jonathan says the Yankees didn't work the pitchers and they were swinging too early and too often. That was so true. Who was it? Bellinger. Both times he came up, swang at the first pitch, popped up in the air, and Bellinger could also use a kickstart at this point. Actually, all of the hitters need to get going. So it's not just the bottom of the order that's disappointing. It's pretty much the hitters as a whole. So thank you for joining me this evening. And as always, it's a pleasure for me to talk with you and hear your thoughts. Weathers was great. Jonathan says, I think he could be a starter. I think he could definitely be a starter. The only thing is there a place for him? Unless injury, knock on wood, and we don't want that. We don't want any injuries to that starting lineup. That once Cole and Rodon get back, it's going to be set, and that the pitching is going to be a pleasure to watch. I think and it's not that it's not now, but when you've got a guy in the wings like Cole, you can't wait to see him in action. And also, I'm sure Rodon will come back strong as well. Although Rodon's not the ace of the staff, he certainly will slot in. Where will he slot in? I mean, Schlittler seems to me like the number 3. I don't know. Where do you put Rodon when he comes back? The number 4 spot? I'm not sure. Anyway, well, thank you guys. Have a great evening. Wear your pinstripes with pride. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you back on a future Thursday with more news and views. See ya.